And Walt, after one half of play, we've got a scoreless tie here at Roosevelt Field in a game that really has been quite uneventful to this point.
It's matched the weather so far. It's rather dreary. But you have to
and a little sloppy.
And a little sloppy, sure. But actually, speaking of, you talk about sloppy, Norristown's actually been very clean. The offense maybe not the well-oiled machine we saw in the first game, but the offense has not made any mistakes, no penalties, no turnovers, and you'd have to say that now they have the advantage. CB West looked a little bit shaky as well, but it's going to depend on field position now. Obviously, there aren't going to be a lot of points scored tonight. It's going to depend on field position.
And, of course, Norristown will have the first offensive possession of the half. The Patriots had won the toss at the beginning of the ball game, elected to have the first offensive possession. So the Eagles will have the ball. And, the Eagles have a number of explosive ball players, Walt. When you think about what Damon Carroll can do on a single play, Norristown, I think, has more of the big play threat than East does.
Yeah, well, there's something, obviously, tonight that's slowing them down. I don't know if they're handling themselves well on the turf, but it's slowing them down. But I would say that Norristown absolutely has that advantage, and they need to look to some of those players a little bit more. We saw last year, I keeps coming back to mind because he did it over and over. David Tuggle made some really big plays for the Eagles when they needed them, and they have to get someone doing that this year. Carroll obviously very capable of doing it. Also Brahim Mitchell, maybe getting the ball out to him in the flat a little bit and letting him just do his thing out there.
And Walt, as far as schedule is concerned, this really is a must-win game for the Eagles if they are to have a chance at any postseason play. Having lost their opener against the Bucks of Central Bucks West, they really need to finish out their schedule almost unblemished. You've got two other real tough games left for Norristown, both of them away. One of them's next week at Council Rock, and then 3 weeks from now at Pennsbury.
Those are going to be the big ones, and Norristown has to win every game. Everyone's a must-win if they're thinking playoffs at all. But Pennsbury at 3-1 and has beaten Council Rock, who is also at 3-1. Though now both those teams, even with the Eagles, if they should win this game tonight. So Norristown, they would need, their fate would be in their hands. They would need to beat Pennsbury and they would need to beat Council Rock and finish off the rest of their games. Those two teams really being the only threat behind them, with Central Bucks West in front of them.
Okay, folks, we're ready to go here in the start of the second half. And kicking for the Patriots is number 11, Chris Becker. It's a very low kick, taken by one of the up men for Norristown, and up past the 40-yard line. Running the ball that time for Norristown was number 89 for the Eagles, Al Zone.
And a real smart play by Zone, realizing how short that kick was. Was heading out of bounds possibly, but Zone, sure-handed, picked it up and gave the Eagles the great field position to start this third quarter.
And folks, we'll remind you, as we were talking a little bit about schedule, there are two more home games here for Norristown. That'll be Friday the 14th of October against Truman, and then the 29th of October home against Abington. Phil Galliano sets to start the first offensive series of the third quarter. Damon Carroll off the right side. He bulls ahead for about 2 yards on the carry.
Norristown likes to favor that right side, but on this sequence, that is the short side of the field. And we saw it there. There was no room for Carroll to get around the end and use that speed.
And to give you some of those Norristown starters on offense, again, of course, your quarterback, number 5, Phil Galliano. In the backfield, number 6, Jeff Butler. Number 2, Damon Carroll. Your flanker, number 11, Brahim Mitchell. Number 40, Eric Stead at tight end. Also at end or flanker, or pardon me, split end would be number 81, Rich Hicks. At center, number 74, Dave Fazzini. And then you have Fisk, Fabian McKernan, and Lett on the line. On 2nd and 8, they go to Brahim Mitchell on the reverse. He's got room. He's into the secondary. The ball is loose. The ball is called dead. That time in on the tackle was number 4, Sean Dunn. And Walt, I have to give it to you. You mentioned Brahim Mitchell there as we came up to begin this second half of play, and there's a big play by the young man.
And that time they got it to him the more direct route. They gave him the ball coming out of the backfield. Mitchell swung around from his flanker position on the short side of the field and found some running room on the wide side. Sort of what the Patriots have been doing with their back Dunn, number 4, tonight. And
ironically enough, that was Dunn who made the tackle there. Once Mitchell hit the ground, the ball did squirt free, but of course the ground cannot cause a fumble. So Norristown retains possession, and it'll be first down at the 47-yard line of the Patriots. And Walt, I think it's real important that the Eagles establish something offensively here as we begin this second half of play. Because the longer this game stays close, the more the Bucks, that ball's batted down. Galliano drops back on first down, tries to drop the ball into the flat, and it is batted by one of the offensive linemen.
Yeah, wow, Brett Shaw standing there at 6'3", number 86 on that left end, really got up off his blocker. I think it was Stead, someone who's locked up on him. Shaw just jumped up there, reached those arms up, and knocked that ball down. So we said Galliano, a good size, but only at 6 feet. Certainly tough to see over Shaw, and trying to hit that quick hitter was broken up.
So it'll be 2nd and 10 now. Backs in the eye once again. This time they go with the, no, not the quick handoff. They pitch to Carroll. And, Damon Carroll. There's the big play, folks. Damon Carroll in a race to the end zone. Not even close. Touchdown.
Did Phil Galliano ever sell that? Galliano hid behind the line, held the ball with Butler plunging through the line, pitched it to Carroll, a perfect opportunity. Carroll almost at a dead stop when he received the ball and just took off, trailing flames, and an easy touchdown for the Eagles.
Boy, I'll tell you, that's an outstanding play. They really, as you say, sold that up the middle. Galliano with the pitch to Carroll, only one man to beat, and it's like he was standing still. I mean, David Carroll just ignored the defender.
One man to beat is David Carroll's favorite phrase.
And I'll tell you, it looked like Staples, number 21, Matt Staples, was going to try to come from the outside. Never had a chance. Steve Davis for the extra point. The spot is there, and the kick is up, and it is good. And the Eagles are up on top now, 7-0. And we talked about the big play potential, and both our guys did it. Brahim Mitchell sets it up with a nice carry for a first down. And on the next offensive series, Damon Carroll, wow, 47 yards, blazes in for a touchdown.
Well, they got Carroll the room on the end, and that's what he needs. He needs some room on the wide side of the field to really go to work and operate. And that's exactly what Galliano allowed him to do by holding the ball, letting the line cave in. When he pitched it out, there was one man looking Carroll right in the face, and he just blew right by him, and then Staples had no shot as Carroll blazed into the end zone. But that's where we should be, Norristown, with the better athletes. East, certainly showing that they're very well coached and a very solid team tonight. But the Norristown athletes on that drive just came alive.
Well, I'll tell you, that's a big play for the Eagles, and I think we probably had a little bit of inspirational talk in the locker room, too. These guys really came out fired up. What a kick by Davis.
That's fired up right there.
He booms that ball to the 9-yard line, taken by
25, 30.
Ball is finally down at the 35-yard line. On the carry that time was number 24, Jason Carabin. And Carabin did a good job just running the ball straight up the hole that time.
And that's you see the deep return, but a shorter kick would probably wind up with a 10-yard return, and you'd be at the same position on the field. But that's what happens. You get those long kicks, and that's why kickoffs are returned for sufficient yardage.
So the Patriots, with good field position, will be starting at their 34-yard line.
No yards rushing in the first half. Then in the third quarter, you had an 81.
They hand off up the middle, and my goodness, there was no doubt about who put that stick on.
There's only one man it could be. That's Jeff Butler. And let me tell you something, folks. We're up here with the coaches, and as good as these Norristown assistant coaches are, and are very reasonable and rational and keep their cool, there was a loud ooh that went up from this whole booth, coaches included.
Wow, what a stick by Jeff Butler. Unbelievable. The ball carrier won't soon forget that play. This time they go to Taylor around the right side. He is stood up. Butler was there once again, and Stead finishes him off along with Phil Galliano.
Yeah, and you don't think Jeff Butler just turned his defense on with that hit, do you?
Boy, Jeff Butler is some kind of player.
I think Carroll turned them on with that electrifying run, and now Butler has just turned the defense on and is really leading them like he knows he can.
And it's 3rd down and 8 now from the 37-yard line, and the Eagle defense has really, really come out firing. Brian Thackeray takes a look at things. He's got Taylor set in the backfield. Long count. They look, they've got time, man open, and that time number 21, Matt Staples, was wide open, and that's the third or fourth time we've seen a drop pass by the Patriots tonight.
A little miscommunication. Staples had to whip around as he was expecting the ball on the other side over the other shoulder. But again, the ball delivered right there.
And one of the few times tonight, Walt, that Thackeray has stayed in the pocket to throw. That was really a very shallow drop, and he did have protection and time.
Well, they know now that Norristown defense is coming with everything they have. They're not going to have a lot of time to throw the ball and get rid of it quick.
On fourth down, there's the punt. The ball's going to be taken by Mitchell, and he wisely stands aside, and that ball rolls out of bounds at about the 25-yard line of the Eagles.
But there's a timeout in the field. So let's take 1
So with 8:15 to play here in the third quarter, the Eagles are up on top now, 7-0, and a good job by the defense, and they've given the ball back to their offensive squad. We do have a flag down. The officials are bringing the ball back. They want to talk to Captain Jeff Butler to see what he'd like to do here. Apparently the penalty called against the Patriots. And I think with the bounce that ball took for East, you're going to have Norristown requesting another kick.
Certainly. The punting has been excellent tonight on both sides.
Well, Thackeray really has a good leg to him. Brahim Mitchell has had one bad kick here this evening, but he also has gotten really a full force into several kicks. So he had illegal procedure, the call that time. Could have been an illegal player downfield. But it backs the Patriots up 5 yards. And it'll now be 4th and 12, punting formation again. And the Eagles will set up for the return now. Great snap. There's the hard rush. They don't get it. What a great kick. Mitchell signals for the fair catch wisely at the 38-yard line, and the Eagles pick up 13 yards in the exchange.
That's for sure. Well, there's no brainer of that decision. It certainly was a great kick and got a great roll. And that time, Mitchell just came up to take the fair catch rather than letting that one bounce. And as you said, a wise decision, and Norristown decent field position to start their second drive of the third quarter.
Very impressed with Brian Thackeray's leg. He's gotten off a couple of real nice punts here tonight.
So 1st and 10, 37-yard line of Norristown.
Phil Galliano sets the offense. He's got a single back. That's Butler. The handoff is there, and there is nothing doing. Good coverage that time. The tackler was in the backfield.
You know, I think that's a good call with the plays that Butler's been making to give him the ball and let him see what he can do on offense this time. That one didn't turn out so well, and now they will restart. But certainly you want your steady man handling the ball, and Butler has to be pumped up with Norristown being ahead now and the plays he's made on defense.
So after no gain on that carry, it'll be 2nd and 10 for the Eagles. The pitch goes to Butler. Flags on the play. Butler into the secondary with a nice move. He's still not down across midfield. Jeff Butler, a great run, but I have the feeling it's coming back, Walt.
But that's going to come back, I believe, as flags are down.
There's the preliminary call. It's holding against Norristown.
Look at that run. Jeff Butler just made Matt Staples pay for making that tackle. He lowered the ball.
Boy, did you see at the end of that run, Walt, the way Butler took the cornerback out? Unbelievable, that guy, when he gets his steam going.
Yeah, one man after 5 yards, one man's not going to bring him down, and they tried to leg tackle him earlier, and he just brushed him off like he wasn't even there. And to tell you the truth, that's more of what I was expecting. That time they got Butler a little bit of running room, and he showed how pumped up he was.
And I tell you, the key part of that run, although it's certainly obviously been nullified here, was just the slightest little motion to set the one defender at the line of scrimmage off, and Butler really blew through the hole then. But now it's going to be 2nd and 20 rather than 1st and 10 from inside Patriot territory.
As wet, drizzly, misty, late night here on Saturday. So far, it's been a good ball game.
Carroll comes in motion. They fake the handoff. Galliano keeps it himself. Galliano's got room. What a move by Phil Galliano. Staples is the only man there, and he brings him down at the 22-yard line. And there's no flags this time.
And a great job that time. The left side is McKernan and Fiss. McKernan at tackle and Fiss at guard really sealed it off and held their blocks as, again, Galliano selling the fake that time. Lots of room to cut up and just take it.
And I tell you what sold that play was the run by Damon Carroll the last time. Those defenders were so focused on Damon Carroll, they forgot about Phil Galliano.
That's for sure, and nobody got out there to even come close to Galliano, as his line really sealed instead was out in front of him to lead his way.
Got 3 receivers wide right, but they give it off to Butler up the gut and nothing doing.
I'll tell you, it's a real solid interior there for the Patriots.
And a host of others here for East.
They really tie up that middle.
So once again, the Eagles stick it into the interior of the line on first down and come away with nothing. So we have 2nd and 10 again. I think maybe they ought to take these plays they've been calling on 2nd down and run them on first down. Save themselves a down.
The element of surprise wouldn't be working then.
6:06 to play in the 3rd quarter. 2nd and 10 from the 24-yard line. That time Galliano somehow avoids the tackle and does a great job. Picks up about 7 or 8 on the play.
Yeah, Galliano looked like he was about to pitch that ball as he thought he was going to be brought down. Once he fought off that tackle and shook that hand from his jersey, he saw he had some room through that line.
Give Phil Galliano about 7 yards on the carry. Let's call it 3rd and 4. The ball's at the, let's call it the 18-yard line of the Patriots. So the Eagles deep in enemy territory here with a tough yardage play. 4 yards is a tough call.
It certainly is. It's maybe a little bit long for the run, although that's what I expect Norristown to go to, this deep in Patriot territory.
They've got Brahim Mitchell in motion. Galliano goes to the air. He's got Mitchell. Oh, what a move. Wide open. Touchdown. Oh, man, was that a nice play.
And Jeff, it was a fabulous play. I don't understand how the Patriots left him so open. Mitchell, the only man put out into a pattern. Someone has to lock onto him. But the Patriots so intent on stopping that first down. Great call by the Norristown coaching staff. And they went for the touchdown.
Well, I'll tell you, that was beautiful. Brahim Mitchell really played it very, very well. He looked like he was just going out to the flat for the first down, and then he quick cut it upfield, and a great pass by Galliano put it right where it needed to be. High snap. The hold is down. Steve Davis's kick is low, but it's still good. And let's make it 14-0 Norristown.
Well, there on that play, there was a West defensive back who came over, who followed Mitchell across the field as he went into motion. Once Mitchell got by him, the defensive back sort of froze as if, I could be in some trouble here. Galliano just lofting it over the defender's head, and Mitchell all kinds of room to just bring that ball down no matter where it was thrown.
Boy, I tell you, the offense looked fabulous on that play, and give some credit to Phil Galliano as well. He took his time, good protection from the line, and lofted it up there. Mitchell wrapped it up.
Well, I'll tell you what's opened it up, and that's the threat of Phil Galliano running the ball. He had that huge long run, and then we saw him pick up some good yardage on 2nd down with about 7 on his run. So if Galliano's running the ball, you have Carroll and Butler back there, and you never know where or when they're going to give Brahim Mitchell the ball. That's a lot of weapons to stop.
Well, Norristown now doing a superior job here in the 3rd quarter. They've now taken a 14-point lead against the Patriots of Central Bucks East, and Steve Davis is ready to kick off. The kick is low, and it is deep. Muffed a little bit that time by Carabin at about the 5-yard line. Good pursuit by Norristown, but Carabin runs past it. Fine run back, and I tell you, the Eagle defenders were a little too eager in pursuit there, Walt.
Yeah, that's for sure. They ran past a little bit. They actually caught a break there as Carabin stopped to look for his blockers, and Al Zone coming from the backside thought he found a gift there. Just ran right into Carabin and gives Zone some credit for the good pursuit after Carabin had run by him once. But Carabin's just got to take that ball upfield on the kickoff return. He's not going to break anything. He just wants to get some significant yardage and could have picked up about 10 more.
So with 4:44 to play in the 3rd, Thackeray goes to the air. He looks, tucks it under. He's past the line of scrimmage. He's stuck once and wrapped up by a gang tackle on the Norristown side.
Dean Moore wanted the ball. Dean Moore certainly could have made that tackle, but was going after the ball. And as he came in from the side and tried to rip it away, and now he's thinking he should have gotten it.
Thackeray that time did a good job to just tuck the ball in and carry it. He did have a little bit of room there at the line of scrimmage. Picks up 4 on the carry. It'll be 2nd and 6. And the ball is going to be at the 27-yard line of the Patriots. Take a look at that Norristown defensive set. And there's Brian Thackeray. They go to Taylor. Taylor looks, finds nothing, spins though, picks up several yards on the carry, crosses the 30-yard line until he's wrapped up by the Norristown defenders. And certainly Taylor is not somebody who's looking to use his blazing speed. He really is picking his way along that line of scrimmage, looking for the opening to develop.
Well, he absolutely needs the hole to be successful in running the ball. And he needs a passing game to open up some of those holes. He really needs both sides of the offense to be working so that he can be successful. He's a good, solid back, but certainly not a man who's going to carry you.
And this is a big play right here for the Patriots, Walt. 3rd and 2 from their own 31-yard line. They need to sustain some offense here after Norristown has put 2 big scores on the board. And there's a first down by Thackeray and much, much more, almost out to midfield.
It's Thackeray's best run of the night. That as Norristown was really stuffing up that line, they kind of bit on the fake, and Thackeray was allowed to roll out and get some good yardage.
Thackeray only needed 2 there and picked up 15 on the carry. He's got the ball out to his own 45-yard line, and the Eagle defense seemed to almost forget about Brian Thackeray there.
Well, often that'll happen. You try and stuff the short yardage, and they wind up with a big play.
46-yard line.
Handoff goes up the middle again, and they pick up good yardage. Brad Bernhardt on the carry. The tackler that time was number 54 for Norristown, Ra Lusain.
And East mixing it up a little bit here. That time they went with the straight handoff right off the left side. Sometimes they'll go with a little bit more motion, maybe a delay, maybe a Thackeray rollout. They certainly have diversity in their offense, makes them tougher to stop.
2:22 to play here in the 3rd quarter, 14-0 Eagles. They've handed off the middle again. Taylor picks it into the secondary, and he's wrapped up. Let's give the tackle to number 4, Lamont Johnson.
Key decoy that time was number 4. That was Dunn coming around behind Thackeray. And Dunn's gotten some big yardage on several plays tonight for the Patriots. So that time, some Eagles looking at Dunn as he came across. Instead, they went straight up the middle to Bernhardt.
Well, I'll tell you, it's 1st and 10 now for the Patriots. They're inside Eagle territory, down to about the 37-yard line. And right now, the Eagle defense back on its heels. They go to Taylor around the right side. He cuts back up the middle, and he's going to pick up several more on that carry, Walt. McKernan and a bunch of other tacklers, including Lusain, in on the play.
You saw on that play how good he is at stopping and finding the hole. Really went around the end quickly and stopped on a dime. And as soon as he sees that hole, he explodes for 3 yards before you even know he's there.
So once again, it's 2nd and 5, and the Patriots are really churning up some turf here.
2nd and 5 coming up for each.
1:24 to play here in the 3rd quarter. Thackeray takes a look at the offense. This time they go up to Bernhardt, and he is stuck and pushed back. My goodness, there's the surprise. Look who it was. Number 6, Jeff Butler, in on the tackle.
Yeah, Butler was the low man. You saw the back's head just snap back as he got hit, and that was Butler down low, who you really couldn't see too much. But those quick handoffs, that's what's happened, because the Norristown linebackers especially really attack the ball. That's why you also see a lot of teams using a lot of motion and a lot of misdirection to fool those Norristown defenders, because they are so aggressive. And if you go straight at them, that's usually what happens. You're stopped or pushed back.
That was 2 yards on that carry, believe it or not. It's 3rd and 3. Thackeray goes right. He is wrapped up in the backfield, and he is sacked for a 6-yard loss. Let's give the tackle to number 31 for the Eagles, Sharif Khalid. Sharif Khalid, and you know what? He was the fellow who helped out on that last tackle, Walt, with Butler, and great penetration into the backfield. Thackeray didn't have a chance.
Khalid's been around the ball a good bit tonight, and we're seeing some more Norristown defenders getting into some plays, and a lot of people who can contribute on that Norristown side.
It's going to be time expiring here as we wind down to the end of the 3rd quarter. We've got 12 minutes to play, And Walt, right now, East really in a situation where they've got no choice but to go for it on 4th and 8 in Norristown territory.
Well, theirs is not a big play offense. So when they get the ball and are driving well, they have to make something out of it. They won't put a lot of points up on the board in any game just because their offense is a very designed for some very short plays, but to be very efficient. So we're going to see them absolutely go for it, as they need 2 scores to even up with Norristown.